Alright, Chad, we're going to take a look at one of your throws. This was your last throw at the Army trials. For all throws, you did a frontal, which is fine. Ultimately, we'd like to work to the back of the ring to work in the technique to get the maximum force behind the discus and further our distance. But we'll look at your frontal and we'll talk about some areas where you can improve and some areas where you did some good things. So here's your frontal out of the back. Plate here. Okay, so we're going to be comparing it to the throw on the right, but right now what we're going to do is we're just going to focus on the left here for the time being. So when you wind out of the front, you want to create that nice long radius where the discus is. And so here's kind of your maximum wind. Your eyes need to be focused back, and the discus should be back here somewhere where we could see it. If you look on the right, see how his arm is extended, nice and tall, and basically what it's doing is it's pointing in the direction where the discus is going to go. And that's the type of wind we want when we hit the power position, which is what you're throwing from. Good low base here with your knees bent and your hips are low. Right now you can see your eyes kind of looking into the throw already. Just focus back, and the reason being is you want your lower body to get ahead of your upper body to create torque and pull on the discus. And what you're going to do in this throw is, see how everything's kind of together. There's some separation, but it's got to be a lot more in order to maximize the force on the discus. See, we just looked into the throw way too early, and it's more of an upper body toss. And the left or the right foot leaves the ground first. Basically in the throw, your right leg and your hip have to drive and turn into the throw first to pull the discus around your body and out into the throwing area. It's kind of an interesting concept to understand, and it's kind of reversed when you think about throwing a baseball or whatever, but even that, the same applies. We want to get our foot, knee, and hip into the throw first, then the discus ultimately follows with a greater amount of force rather than just arming it out there. So that's the big thing that we want to create. So if we look at the right here, he's in his power position. Watch Wolfgang Schmidt as he turns. See how he turns, and it's incredibly exaggerated, but this is the technique that we're trying to achieve. Turns his right foot, his knee, and his hip are getting into the throw here, and continuing to drive as the right side whips around. So first the foot, knee, hip, then it drives up, and his left side becomes nice and tight and strong, meaning he's extended his left leg, his left arm is locked close to his body, nice and tight, and his right side just rotates around it. And the reason it does that is it creates a stopping force where all the momentum gets transferred to the right side as it releases the discus. So that's the main thing we need to work on. Relax the upper body, let the lower body do the work, and then at the last second, the upper right side gets activated around a strong left side block. And ultimately, you see how your right foot drives off, leaves the ground here? It should be the continuing driving force in the throw to where, in actuality, it lifts the left leg off the ground as it does here on the right into the throw. And what I would advise you to do is, if you can get some traffic cones, weighted objects, to practice that type of separation with the lower body and the upper body. And what a cone does is it creates air drag, so you can feel that pull on the implement as your lower body gets ahead of your upper body. So practice that, and we'll work on them more as time gets near competition. But if you have any questions, just contact me anytime.